You don't even seem like you have any strong opinions. I thought you were going to be way more of like have strong stances, but you don't even seem like that. Or of like have strong stances, but you don't even seem like that. So what are you debating about? And
Okay,
who are
wait,
you,
hold on.
like,
First of all, I got a lot of strong opinions on everything. But when you just ask me a question like, "What do you think about philosophy in this thing?" Then
No,
I mean,
I didn't mean what do you think about philosophy in general, but like so.
no,
far,
but I mean,
yeah,
in terms of different systems, like I'm a pretty easygoing dude. Now, if you want to argue about something like related to like a policy position, so for instance, you brought up
I don't want to
abortion
argue it.
earlier.
I don't think that we have anything to argue about because
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's even worthwhile to have like any hard stances on anything because ultimately we can't change anything. We have no power. We have no control over these issues. So like, even if I had some stance on abortion, I'm pro-choice, I'm pro-life. What does that change?
Well, I mean, it's
Nothing.
going to change who you vote for president, who puts in the Supreme
Voting
Court
doesn't
justices.
do anything. You really think that voting matters?
Yeah, of course. What do you mean? How do you think people win elections?
Where do you live?
Right now in Florida.
Oh, Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're always gonna. I mean, that's a swing state. But ultimately, I live in New York. Like, it's never gonna vote anything else than
You've got
blue.
there are
And what
down
about the-
there are down ballot people you can vote for. I mean, like
You know the down ballot people?
not in New York, but I'm just saying
You know
that, like,
the down ballot people in Florida?
not for this coming election cycle, no. But I haven't started following this election cycle yet. But I mean, like, down ballot isn't going to be as important. You asked me about abortion in particular, and abortion is going to be a presidential vote. And I mean, some states are going to matter more than others, right? If you're in California, maybe your vote doesn't matter as much. But if you live in some of those swing states, you know, if you're in like Arizona, Pennsylvania, I think Michigan, like all these states, like it's probably going to matter who you vote for, right? Because you.
Yeah, you don't think that all of that is just performative and like, do you really believe in politicians?
Believe
You think
in
politicians actually
like, do I
have the
think
same-
they're real, or do I like?
No, do you think that politicians actually have like in best interest? Do you think they actually care about stuff like abortion, or are they all just saying stuff on TV so that they get more power?
I think they're saying and doing what they need to get elected, which is good. That's what politicians should do. You want your-
Exactly. So then why do you even vote? Like,
Well, because if you're
you know that
voting
the-
for people because abortion is important to you, then chances are they're going to do something to make abortion legal because that's what's going to get them reelected. So I think that they do things to get more power, and more power to a politician is winning elections, and that's what you want them going after power for, because winning elections means most people voted for them, right? Isn't that what you want a politician to go after? You don't want a politician that wants less power. What does that mean? They're just not doing anything in office because they don't care if they win re-election or not?
ultimately, I am kind of nihilist. I guess that's a philosophical stance. Like, there's just I don't see any point in voting anymore. I don't see any point in investing any mental energy in that because I'm just one person. My vote has so little power and matter. Like the electoral college is what elects the politician. Besides the down ballot people, we can't. It's all an illusion. Us thinking like having a stance on something like abortion is just to make us feel good and feel involved when ultimately it doesn't do anything.
That's like saying that like going to the gym is a waste of time because I went once and I didn't get shredded. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, voting
so if
one
you vote
time. If everybody votes in accordance with what they believe in, then yeah, outcomes are going to change for sure. I mean, Trump winning that election
but you could go
was
to the
really,
gym on
really,
your own.
Trump winning that election was really important. Yeah, you can't vote on your own because we live in a country full of 330 million people. But like Trump winning that
Exactly. But
election
you
is
go
why
into the
abortion is
gym-
gone.
Okay, but going to the gym actually affects your life. You could fix yourself and have immediate results. Voting and hoping that 300 other million people have the same ideas as you is almost pointless.
I mean, if you think that, then I guess you just don't have to vote. But then you're just like doubling the power of the guy next to you who disagrees with you, who's voting otherwise. But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, this is how any large project works. It's always going to take like the buy-in of every single individual working to kind of make sure you're moving towards some outcome. But I mean, like, this is going to be the same of every large project you're involved in. Like, your individual effort might not necessarily matter as
That's
much.
why I'm not involved in any large. What large projects are you involved in besides voting?
Large projects I'm involved in besides voting. I don't know. I was streaming. I kind of do my own thing, so I'm probably not involved in many at the moment. But other than like
That's
political
it.
stuff.
The only large project you're involved in is politics.
Sure, but I mean, that's a pretty important project, right?
Chat, what do you think? WRL on voting. I want to see if they agree. I don't know. Personally, I think that's a mostly white idea to think that voting matters. Like, people in the hood, most people don't vote because it's like they understand, or there's a collective understanding that this system is just something that has nothing to do with our regular lives. And if you think about it, like, how different was the world after Trump got elected? Besides what you see on your Twitter feed, was it really that different than Obama? What changed?
I mean, in the United States, a great deal changed, right? Like, so for instance, if we look at Supreme Court stuff, you've got the Roe v. Wade stuff. You've got however many conservative decisions come out of that court. If you look
But
at
what changed in your life besides Twitter?
in
what
my
changed
life,
your
nothing changed. 'Cause I'm a rich white dude. Nothing matters to me, right? I would argue that
Same thing. I would argue
mixed
that
dude. Sure, but
nothing changed either.
not caring about like like that, I think is an example of like, well, you're wealthy, so you're insulated from most of society's problems. But like, if you were one of those people that got, you know, PPP checks, or if you were one of the people that got the second like coronavirus check, the $2,000 of stimulus, if you were the people that on the extended unemployment insurance, like these are people whose lives were all like measurably positively impacted. If you're going to be one of the people that are working for a company that got a job under the
$1,000, a couple K, they all got it back from the gas prices. That was nothing.
A couple $1,000.
They took away everybody's jobs. They took everybody's jobs away for 2 years.
No, not everybody's jobs got taken away. That's why unemployment.
Pretty much, though.
Not even, dude. People were making more money on unemployment insurance than they ever made working. That was wild. Arguably, one of the reasons why we have inflation right now is because of how much money was paid out in UI.
But who got richer? Who got richer from something like unemployment? Jeff Bezos. Amazon stock tripled. Everybody just went to Amazon and spent it on things that didn't matter because they were inside and bored. That didn't actually help anybody.
I mean, the people that were buying products from Amazon that were getting were helped, right? Amazon's stock price doesn't go up because nobody's being served by it, right? There's a reason why these companies have such massive prices, because they serve like products to so many individuals. No, it's not like Bezos is making a ton of money out of nowhere. It's because people are buying it and getting for their money, which is
well,
probably
that's what I'm saying. Like, people thinking that the government did a good thing by giving us unemployment and stimulus checks was, you know, pretty much just like, it's like a Band-Aid on a bigger problem. They kept everybody inside. They told you to take a shot. You had to keep your face covered for 2 years. I don't know, something like that didn't completely ruin your faith in a bigger system. That opened up my eyes and a lot of people in my chat to just like, okay, this is all rigged. This is all a scam. We have no control. We're all just like operating in the system and thinking that we have power when we really don't. But you have no explanation besides like people are just bored that there's no pandemic right now?
Bro, people get bored of like something that could potentially cause World War III in like 1 week. Come on, we know this. What is the attention span of, you should know this as a streamer, right? That like, here's something that I know. If anybody's ever in any big streamer drama or YouTube drama, all you have to do is keep posting for 3 days and everybody forgets about it. That's true in the streamer world. That's true in the news world too. They're gonna be the worst thing in the world. No, I'm proving my point. They're gonna be the worst news in the world going on. But like after like a week, people are fatigued. They don't want to hear about that anymore.
Okay.
Like,
why did you think that Ukraine and World War III was, but you don't think like something like the pandemic was?
Why did I think why did I think what was?
Why do you think that believing in the pandemic is a good thing, but like investing energy into Ukraine is stupid?
I don't think I think investing energy in Ukraine is good. I'm a big pro-Ukraine guy. I support that.
Support it how?
Support it as in we should protect the sovereignty of other countries in Europe that are being invaded and having territory.
How are you gonna do that?
How are you? I personally, I don't personally. My government does.
Exactly. So how are you supporting it?
With my tax dollars? What do you mean? What are you asking? Who I vote for?
You said how we should support Ukraine. I'm asking how you do that.
As an individual American, I guess it's based on who you vote for.
That's it.
That's how our system works. We have a representative democracy.
So is that really support?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, of course. The people that you vote for are going to determine the policies that are enacted by your country, that are going to determine how your country...
There was no vote for Ukraine. We didn't get a vote for anybody who's had a different opinion on Ukraine. And ultimately, if we did, Putin still wants to go to war. It doesn't make a difference.
We don't vote for Ukraine in the same way that we don't have a direct democracy vote on every single issue that comes across the country. But we do vote for overarching ideologies when it comes time to dealing with other countries. So Trump, broadly speaking, was like an isolationist kind of guy. He didn't really want to mess with other countries, you know, even though he bombed Syria. But like Trump would say like, oh, I don't want to do this. And people would say Hillary Clinton is the red line. You know, she is more hawkish. I think that when you're voting for somebody like Biden or voting for somebody like Trump, you're broadly in mind keeping track of like all of these different positions they have. Some are more important and at some points in time than others, but I mean that's kind of how our system works. We can't vote for every single issue individually. It wouldn't be feasible.
So you can't vote on issues, so there's no point in investing any energy into these issues.
No, you vote on people that represent your issue. That represent your interests.
But you're also saying that politicians just say things so that they get elected. So they're not even believing in the issues they're saying. They just say stuff.
They do things.
They say stuff and then do the thing that makes them the most money.
They say things to get elected and then they do things to stay elected. Because they should be, because they're representing what should be their constituent interest. I want my politician to do things to keep getting elected so that I keep voting for him. That's the whole point.
Name one good politician.
One, like a wholly good politician? I don't know if I can name. Yes, I don't know if I can name. I'm not interested in individual politicians. I'm interested in the policies that they pass, right? Those are the things that I'm interested in. So Biden pushing like the Build Back Better program, I think is a good policy. The infrastructure bill that we passed. I think that he's pushing good programs. I don't know if I would say he's like holistically a good politician.
You don't think he's just a puppet from the New World Order and he's just like being fed pills and stuff like that and they're pushing him up the stairs? Like, Chad, how many even speeches have you heard from Biden? I haven't even seen him say a word. He's just like a person. He's just a representative of policy.
Drama between like two YouTubers can't stay private for more than like 3 weeks. There's no way there's a whole new world order of people that are all concocted behind the scenes and nobody's leaked anything. I don't believe that. I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's feasible.
When nobody's leaked what?
That nobody's like, we don't know anything about the new world order. That like, I think that if there was a new world order behind the scenes, like operating things, I think we would have heard about it by now. I think somebody would have leaked something.
You don't think something like Epstein's Island is enough proof of the new world order?
I don't think Epstein's Island proves a new world order. No, that one old guy was a. I don't think that proves a new world order. No.
But the government is not good. The American government is not good.
Why? How not? What?
They
how
don't
not?
have our best interests in mind. Why not? You trust people like Hillary Clinton?
I don't trust people like Hillary Clinton. I trust the institutions that these people inhabit.
What is okay? So who do you trust in the government?
I don't trust individuals in the government. We have institutions and checks and balances to keep these individual players
what
honest.
institutions do you trust?
I trust the institution of the federal government. I trust the institution of the FDA. Like I trust all of the independent academics and all of the independent universities and all of the independent private companies.
Okay, so you're saying
wait, no, it's all part of it. All of it is part of it. Okay, if you're going to try to ask me like, would you trust Fauci on this one thing? No, I don't trust any individual. That's the whole reason why the American government is set the way that it is. There's a huge checks and balances on every single part of our government where everybody's incentivized to catch everybody else up. So no, I don't trust one person in the government. I trust the entire institution and the institutions that hold each other accountable. That's the whole point. Like you don't think? Here's a question.
It's crazy to me that you say that you could trust the whole government, but you can't name me one politician that you think is good.
That's how institutions work. What is the one part of your car that makes it drive? Name the one part that makes it drive. You can't name it because it doesn't make any sense. There's like a whole bunch of different things that come together to make it so that a vehicle can move across the road. So when the
engine isn't telling me take a shot.
But the engine
isn't telling me what to do.
The engine doesn't spin wheels on the ground, right? In order to make your car work, it's a whole different there's so many different systems in your car that keep it moving forward. And the government is the same thing. There's not one thing that powers it, right? It's a whole conglomeration of different moving parts that all interact with each other.
Yeah, but my car is not telling me what to do. I drive my car doesn't drive me.
That's fine, and you drive the government by voting. There's just a lot of people driving the same car.
No, the government drives
here's a question.
But it takes one person to drive a car. It takes the whole country, like this illusion that everybody's on the same page.
Okay, sure.
To trust the government.
Then let's look at where the other incentives are. Do you think that Russia doesn't like the United States and China? Do you think they don't? Okay, if China and Russia don't like the United States, if all the was and the coronavirus, why wouldn't they be out here saying like, oh, look, it's all fake. Guys, the American media is lying to you. Like they did that with the moon landing, right? But they're like, that's not real.
They control their citizens with it too.
So all of these countries do you understand how you're giving me a conspiracy where these people are like working together and not working together at like the same time? Like I can never win, right? You're always going to have a reason to where, well, everybody's going to try to everybody else, but they also all work together at the same time too. Like, you think that Russia would work together with the United States? No, they're not all working.
There's probably a system of most powerful people, these oil money people, these old banks, these old families. The people who control the money control the government.
Yeah, but even these people fight all the time too. Look at how much American oil producers fight like tooth and nail with OPEC. Like even the oil people fight with each other. So I don't. This idea that there's like this conglomerate of people working behind the scenes in these smoky rooms. I don't think you need those types of conspiracies to explain why companies and people do the things they do. And I think if there were these things happening, you'd have other people trying to call them out. Like if
you couldn't even say anything against them.
First of all, you can't censor entire countries like Russia. And two, how do you censor other private corporations that have a lot of money? I thought we said money controlled the government. If these other corporations have tons of money, shouldn't they be able to just buy their way out of censorship? Or do you think there's another secret cabal that's not just ran by money and not just ran by countries, but is like the ultra secret, ultra powerful cabal? Like what are the? I don't know. It's a lot for me to buy into, I guess.
I think you have a lot of faith in a system, and to be honest, like I think it's a race thing. I think white people believe in the government a lot more than other races because this system has worked for you for centuries. And so it's like the belief in the system, it's good. But when you take a step outside of that, you start to see like, oh, none of this is really for me. There's no way that this is good. There's no way that they care about me. It's fake empathy.
Sure, I can understand people having those feelings, like especially if you're in certain minority communities. But like those problems are hard to fix, right? They're not going to be simple problems.
What problems?
Any like problems related to minority communities, things related to crime. Crime is a really tough problem to combat. Getting good jobs to people who don't have the best of education, fixing broken families. There isn't going to be like oh my God, we finally have like a president from the hood, and now he's going to give us in 4 years the key solution to all of these problems. That's not even true. A lot of things that ended up a lot of things that ended up hurting black communities came from black politicians. People talk about how Biden is evil for like the 93 crime bill, and he gets mad. People get mad about like, look how they treat crack cocaine versus powder cocaine. The biggest drive for like 3-strike laws and punishing crack cocaine came from black communities that saw crack cocaine destroying their neighborhoods. Like these are some of the people that push for the hardest. And it ended up that some of these like 3-strike laws and some of these criminal prosecution things didn't actually end up helping black people at all for more. These are really complicated problems to fix. I don't think it's that easy.
Okay, if you grew up in project housing and the water doesn't work and the AC doesn't work, why would you think that voting on a specific bill matters at all or has any effect in your life when the place you grew up in doesn't even have proper AC? Because they put specific people in those buildings. How could you have bigger faith in something like Biden and this? Like all of this is just like noise. Unless you're white. If you're white, then you're like,
I understand.
The policy's good. Like
I can understand, but like
that, it's just meaningless.
Let's look at the flip side. So then let's look at the reality. You've got project housing, okay? Voting doesn't do anything. Who's the most likely person to say that? Minorities, young people, poor people. Well, who's left voting? We've got
rich people,
old people,
and rich people,
white people, and rich people. If those are the only people voting in local elections, why the think anybody's going to care about marijuana laws? Wait, why the do you think anybody? Do you think anybody's going to fix the hood, right? If the only people voting are Joe Schmo, who's 75 years old and golfs every Saturday, Sunday, do you think that the hood is getting fixed? Of course not. You're creating a self-perpetuating system where the only problems that are going to be addressed are the problems of old, rich, white dudes because they're the only ones that bother to show up and vote. And you better believe the vote. They vote religiously, I think.
Yeah, what do y'all think?
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.